A very easy and simple loaf cake, subtly flavored with lime zest and vanilla. Just my kind of tea cake, not too rich or not too sweet, no butter and yet very tasty. I'm yet to come across a person who doesn't like a plain cake as it is called. These are so simple yet so satisfying. This cake is somewhat like a pound cake, but the crumb is kind of coarse. It is made with oil, no fuss, you just need a bowl and a whisk and you're on. You can find the ingredient list in the description box below the video as usual. You could also read the full recipe on my blog as well. All ingredients here are at room temperature. So let's get started. I have this 8.5 by 4.5 inch loaf pan. We will line the bottom of the tin with some baking parchment and spray the sides with some baking spray. The oven is preheated to 180 degrees centigrade. So these are the ingredients. I have some all-purpose flour or maida here. There's some baking powder, pinch of salt, there's some sugar. I'm going to be grating the zest of one fresh lime. You could also use orange zest. We need some full fat or whole milk yogurt. This needs to be fresh and not sour. We have 3 eggs. There's some pure vanilla extract. Please do not use synthetic vanilla essence. There's some vegetable oil. I'm using sunflower oil. We will sift together the all-purpose flour, the baking powder and salt. Sift this twice and keep this aside. Now we'll take the yogurt, sugar, vanilla and the eggs in this large mixing bowl. We'll just whisk this together. Grate the zest of one fresh lime. Orange would be fantastic too. We need to simply whisk all of this together to blend well. We're not looking at working up a volume here. And now we'll whisk in the dry ingredients slowly. Stir in the dry ingredients. Imagine you are just stirring the ingredients with a whisk. Be gentle here, that's really important. You can add the flour in 3 additions. And we'll fold in the oil using a spatula. You could also simply whisk it in, gentle again. The batter will be thick and shiny. And we will pour in the batter into the loaf tin. We can now place this loaf tin on another baking sheet and put it into the oven. We need to bake this cake for about 40 to 45 minutes or until the toothpick inserted in the center comes out clean. The baking time may vary depending on your oven. We need to cool the cake on a rack for about 5 minutes before unmolding it. Then run a knife around the cake and then invert it on the rack. And then re-invert it on the rack so that it cools with the top side facing up. Let the cake cool completely before slicing it. You can store this cake at room temperature in an airtight box for about 3 days. You could also double wrap it in cling film and freeze it for about 2 months. I'm sure you'd have all the ingredients for this cake. Please do try this cake and leave your comments for me. Lots more tea cakes, recipes and tips coming up on Cakes and More. Please subscribe, please stay tuned.